Hey guys, welcome in. Hello, welcome in. So yeah, today we're working on some Turkish spindle shafts again. I'm getting warmed up. I'm doing some maple ones right now. I have some exotic ones coming up, so. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Alright, so there's a 7-inch shaft. So this is what they look like when they're assembled. This still needs sanding and finishing, but yeah, that's what we're making that part today. So these are hard maple. Hey, thank you much. I appreciate it. So even though these are going to be shafts for Turkish spindles, this is spindle work. So, you know, if you're going to make a magic wand or a pen or a very small baseball bat, same rules apply. Spindles for furniture, you know, banisters, that kind of thing. So we're starting out with the roughing gouge. So we're just using this wrench as a caliper. So I ordered these oversized so I can true them up. So if I back off the tailstock, there's a little bit of vibration there, not too bad. But by the time I bring it down to its final diameter, should be pretty darn straight. Alright, now we're pretty close to the final diameter, so we're going to switch from the roughing gouge to a spindle gouge. It's less aggressive, and it leaves a better finish. Back off the tailstock and see how it is. Just a hair vibration, it's fine. turn my headphones down a little bit so I'm not yelling, right? Yeah, the nice part about these is, they take 5 minutes to make each one, so if you're just passing through, you can see the process on one. Alright, this is called a story stick. It just has a bunch of lines that I'm just going to transfer over. So if I'm making an 8 or a 7 or a 6. We're currently making 8-inch shafts. The bottom, we're going to have 2 beads. I'm going to use this beading tool. This is V-shaped. So these are really thin, so I have to support them. Just to prevent them from vibrating. Come up to the top with my skew. I'm going to form the finial on the top. Then we're going to blend all these together. So between the beads, I'm going to burn some decorative lines. This is just some wire. Turn the speed down a little, and we're going to sand out. Turn the speed back up. We're going to grab some wood chips. And we're going to burnish the surface. Just give me 1 second. Trying to figure out why I didn't have much vacuum. One of my vacuum lines were open. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't mind showing you guys what I'm doing. That's why we're here. Yeah. I like to be chill, to Bob Ross or Mr. Rogers. Hey, Elle, how's it going? Welcome in. All right, now we're just taking the skew and we're going to form the finial. Then we're going to go through that same process. We're going to sand it out, medium grit, fine grit. Wood chips for burnishing. We're going to add a little wax. Use our skew. We're going to come to the back here. So I'm holding on to it. It's going to go from spinning at 3,629 RPMs to 0 in a fraction of a second once I cut it off. There we go. So I have some arms here. This is a standard. These are black walnut. So there we go. So, hello, Yas. And Atara. And Country Carpenter. Welcome in. Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, about a little over a month ago. This is a Turkish drop spindle that is used for spinning yarn. This piece here is very, very not straight. I don't think we're going to be able to salvage this one, but we'll try. Yep, so this is what came before spinning wheels. So I spun this yarn on the spindle here. So I started out with some top. So a lot of people call it roving. So sheep got a haircut. They picked the nasty bits out. They washed the lanolin out very gently. Then they carded it. So all the hairs are facing the same direction. And from there, I was able to spin this yarn. The next step would be plying it to make it thicker, and then it would be ready to crochet, knit, weave, whatever you want to do with it. All right, we're gonna let it run, and we're gonna back off the tailstock to see how it is. There's a little bit of vibration. I think I'm gonna make it into a 6-inch shaft rather than an 8-inch. So far, so good. You crochet and knit, but you don't spin yarn? Nothing wrong with that. You know, it kind of falls into, I don't know, for me, I just wanted more control over my yarn. But once you start spinning, you're going to stop giving away your projects. At least, my kids get a red heart. Because, with the grandkids and stuff, I know they're going to end up throwing it in the washing machine on me. There's just something... That's the nice part about fiber arts. It's a really deep rabbit hole, and you only have to go as deep as you want to go. I could process the fleece, and I can make the roping myself, but I'd rather just pay somebody to do that. You'd love to spin with too many hobbies? Oh, I know. I gotcha. But the cool part is with this is something you could do while you're watching TV. And you're not gonna drop a stitch. You're not gonna have to sit there and, tink it out. But this hobby supports your other hobbies. I really do enjoy spinning. It's just zen. You shut your brain off. Yeah, I want to get into some amigurumi, but it's just time. I totally get it. I'm gonna add a little wax now. You find knitting relaxes your brain and so does crochet? I gotcha. The cool thing about spinning is, though, you don't really have to concentrate on it. Have you ever tried turning pens from acrylic? Sure. Yeah. I prefer wooden pens over acrylic pens. But yeah, acrylic, it's one of the uses of carbide, So there's a little one with brontosauruses. Of course, these are not sanded yet. Lace making is also very left hand card making. Keeps me saying, I gotcha. This is also not very straight, so we'll just bring this down and see how it's looking. Yes, I totally understand you. It's my job. I actually... I was making wooden toys and wooden signs and selling them on Etsy. And then one of my friends on Etsy asked for a spindle. Which just opened up a huge rabbit hole. So I only intended on making one. But I wanted to make sure it worked. So I learned how to spin. And I fell in love with it. So I started selling them on Etsy to support my own habit, to pay for fiber and such. Bring that one back a little bit more. And then I was laid off from my factory job and decided to try making them full time. And that was in 2013, and I'm still here doing it today. So... there's a little vibration in this one, so we're going to make it into a 6-inch. Yeah, so I feel like I kind of fell into it. But, you know, I'm happy. I'm in a commercial workspace. Me and my girlfriend work together. Hold down the fort. Do I have a video on toy making? No, I don't think I do. Actually, I made a couple just little, like a sheep and a rabbit for Easter last year, and they just have wheels and they roll around. There's a video for that, but nothing too exciting. It's for spinning yarn. There we go. Usually I get, what's that, a drop spindle for my car? Ha ha. Yeah, so drop spindles are a very, very, very early simple machine. We've been using these since at least Neolithic times. Now nobody's gonna know what we're doing. Oh yeah, we have Aldi here too in the States. We have both Aldis, both brothers. But one of the brothers In America, it's Trader Joe's. Do I turn anything else? I do. But for this stream, this is what I'm going to be working on. Yeah, I make a bunch of different style spindles, but the Turkish ones are probably the easiest ones to demonstrate because I'm doing everything like right here. I do make top whorls like that. What size are the blanks? I believe they're a 1/2 inch by 13. Do many elderly women knit still? Absolutely. And so do a lot of younger women. And so do a lot of younger men. And a lot of older men as well. Fiber arts is a thing. She gave up knitting? Yeah. I think she's made enough. I don't know, I'm over 50 and I knit and crochet and spin and weave. All right. Family's got to eat. I gotcha. Nice. Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, yes. Baby blankets. So, yeah, a few years back, I'm making a baby blanket for my second grandchild. And then my partner, Becky's like, well, I want a blanket too. And then I ended up having to make like, it's like a super long, it's like a lap blanket, except it was like 8 feet long. It's like the perfect size to just cuddle up on the couch on. Shut your brain off until you get close to the stitch marker. Have you ever tried lace making? I do have some give me a second here. My brain's not working. Okay, I'm having a brain fart. Now, I've done some Is it bobbin lace with the little ones that you wrap around with the picots? I've done that kind of lace making, and then with the needle, same thing with the picots. I've done that. I haven't done the multiple yeah, my brain's not working. Yeah. Is this part of your YouTube? I see someone else's world point of view in real time, right? My YouTube is primarily about making things on a lot of scroll saw work, some lathe work. But yeah, this is like my day job. This is me trying to catch up on stuff. You know, I make like S&B, hey, welcome in. So I do videos making like this stuff. This was designed by Steve Good, and you know, I'll do a video making that, and then I'll do things like this. I design this and I give away the pattern and show you guys how to make it. So kind of the decorative stuff like this I do. Just a bunch of fun stuff. Just trying to give back a little bit. There we go. But I also don't want to be just tied down to this kind of stuff. I also do 3D printing and laser engraving, and I have a CNC machine that I'm still trying to figure out, so... Take the other one off. Swap it in. It's in the back room on the gray cabinet. Used multiple bobbins and made a bookmark coaster and butterfly pictures. Nice. Yeah, yeah. So it what did it say?
It actually says
Drum Life?
Drum and Suit.
Okay. So yeah, so that's why we bought the other one. That drum should be good for a while. Otherwise, the drum's so expensive that it might be just better to replace the printer after that. It's not the toner, it's what the toner goes into. Yeah. Yeah, I've got the toner receiver, exactly. It's just an old brother laser, but I found another one at a thrift store that had plenty of toner, and the drum was in good shape, so it was like $10. So sometimes it's just easier to buy a donor printer. And we do print out all the patterns for the arms of the spindles. So we do go through toner. And we do use the printer quite a bit. We do use thermal labels, so... Alright, have a good day. Nice. Hope we'll see you again soon, right? Right, set bread. I'm old enough to get that reference. I looked at it, was like, aha, and then like, oh yeah, that's a different band. Alright, I think we're warmed up. I think it's time to grab some exotic woods and throw on here and see if we can make a mess. So these shafts have to be straight. So that's why the arms will be sanded and balanced yet. But it's a lot easier to balance something that's close. This one is actually printed backwards. So. That's what happens when you sublimate a cup and forget to rotate your image. Hey Rip, how's it going? So, this is Purple Heart. It's way too big, but that's alright, we'll bring it down a size. Oh yeah, I gotta fix my sign. Grab another piece. Prop it up a little bit. So how are you guys doing? Having a good Sunday? Hey Jose, how's it going? And another piece of tape. So this is double-sided tape that's used for mounting things down on the CNC machine. It's good stuff. Very sticky. All right. Hey Ricardo, how's it going? Hey Ellen, how's it going? Welcome in. What kind of lathe is this? This is a Laguna Revo 1216. So this is the MIDI size Laguna. So this is my lathe is not big enough to make that. I'm sorry. So it's not big enough to make baseball bats or a lot of furniture. It's a good size for everything I make. Just not anything huge. So the Purple Heart, when it doesn't have UV exposure, it gets kind of brown. Once it hits UV, it'll purple up again. It also does it under heat as well. I prefer using ultraviolet light to do it, rather than throwing it in a toaster oven. Hello! Welcome in. Hello, Simon. Geraldo, how's it going? Hello, 750. Does that burn? Purple Heart loves to burn. That's why I'm turning the speed down. Trying to keep it from burning. Hello, welcome in. I'm guessing Korean? I'm really bad at this stuff. Maybe not. Hello. Alright, I'm gonna burn in between the beads here. I'm gonna shut it down and take a look at it. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Very smooth. I'm gonna add a little bit of wax. Now we're just forming the finial. What's my favorite thing to turn? I like canary wood quite a bit. Just because it smells nice when you're working with it. And it turns beautifully as well. We are making drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. But this is spindle turning, so, you know, if I was going to make like a finial for like the top of a lidded bowl, it'd be a very similar process, except for it wouldn't be 8 inches long. Hey, Billy, how's it going? So yeah, that's Purple Heart. It's not very purpley colored now, but it will be. So I have this here. This is my sci-fi. So it's got a bunch of cutouts on it. So let's go together. Let's see. Hello, Carpenter. Thank you for the thumbs up, Danny. M. Ash, I'm glad you like these kind of streams. You know, the production. I watch a lot of production streams myself. Makes me feel like I'm being a little bit lazy if I'm not working, you know. But it's nice to see how, you know, other people do their things, you know. Let's go get some coffee, and then I'll come back here and turn. Whitlam and pumpkin heads, nice. Hey guys, welcome in. So I'm gonna grab some coffee. Oh yeah, inspiration is good. Get you off your butt and get working. But yeah, lots of knitting and crochet, yeah. I run across quite a few spinning streams as well, but you know, I'm kind of in that realm there. Trying to think. I don't even know where they are. Here. Huh? I've got this cheap set of, is it Leclerc? So. Maybe I can make some lace eventually. Right, Vicky? Maybe we'll make some lace eventually, right? Just say yeah.
Sure.
Okay, good. Get back to my coffee. All right, if I can get my sugar open. I know I'm sweet enough without it. So yeah, so since I'm getting coffee, welcome to my workshop. Every workshop needs a pickle Rick and a piano. Have I ever tried to turn a lace bobbin? I would like to watch that. Well, you know, if I was gonna do that, I would, drill a hole in the bottom and then, put a ring in there and put some matching beads so you can like pair them up. So like those that, those are cheap ones, so they're gonna roll around. I mean, I made some tapestry bobbins in the past. Whew. Very nice meeting you too, Ash. Have a good day. Thank you much. All right. Yeah, so these are a little bit big to start with. I just ran through the bandsaw. They're called spangles, and you put them at the bottom of the bobbins. They're per weight. Hey Ben, how's it going? All right, we're gonna switch over to the spindle gouge. Hey Johnny. Hey Techno. Hello, Five. Welcome in. Have you never turned applewood? I have not turned applewood. Growing up, any applewood that we had ended up in the smoker. Smoked a lot of fish in applewood. So we're turning Purple Heart right now. Then I have a little bit of a coat. This is Vera wood or Argentina Ligambente. Got some red heart. Just a bunch of different stuff. So I got through. We just got through our last fiber show, our last festival for the year. So we're kind of spending a little time, well, I am anyways, organizing and cleaning. So we've been in this workspace for about a year, and it's like it's time. When we're in show season, busy season, you're just maintaining. You're not making anything better around you. So. I have turned some little pieces of olive wood, and yeah, it turns nice. So like, yeah, the Argentina Ligamento is also a very oily wood. So when you start turning with it, it's gorgeous. Actually, let's go take a look at my wood room. It's purposely pretty. What's my favorite wood to turn? I turn a lot of hard maple just because it turns nice and the grain is so small on it that it looks really, really nice. So, come over here. Let me get a little bit of light going. So I organized this over the last couple days, so normally it doesn't look like this. So I'm trying to use up the majority of the wood I have before we go and get more. I do have some stuff I need to plane up there. But, we have our walnut, ash, hard maple. And then I got some really nice bird's eye maple. Because I make small things, I need to find bird's eyes that are really tight together. I've got a little curly up there as well. Some leopard wood. We got some bacote or bacote. Just one's quarter sawn, one's not. A little bit of purple heart. Some cherry. Some more walnut, zebra wood. And then there's a Vera wood. Bolivian rosewood. Brazilian cherry. Some canary wood, some yaya wood, otherwise known as, is what expensive. Exotic woods can get very expensive. And with the tariffs now, we'll see. A lot of the stuff, it's barged in, so they don't move it around in the winter time. So they're still working off the stuff they bought from last year. And yeah, it's just gonna, depending what you get, it can be ridiculously expensive. So, yeah, this little slab of ebony, yeah, you're probably looking at least $50 for this piece, if not more. We got some curly maple here too, just very, very curly. Some locust. This is honey locust. I just like the color of it. This isn't very expensive. This is genuine mahogany. This stuff can get really pricey on you too. So yeah, that's and then I got some maple and cherry here that I need to machine yet, but it is cleaning up back here, which is amazing. Yeah, this just, when you get busy, everything becomes a catch-all. And even the common woods, the domestic woods here, a lot of them come from Canada. So, I'm trying to do my best to use up what I have, because I probably, who knows? Hey, Mask, how's it going? What do I do with a small cutoff? You know, the teeny tiny ones, this is like one of the smaller things I make. So if I got a small piece of exotic wood, I can still change it into something that's sellable. We were making Turkish style drop spindles today. They're used for spinning yarn. So my burning wire here is actually just picture frame hanging wire. And I took 2 strands off and then plied it together to give me the thickness I want. So this stuff, a lot of people use guitar strings, which are a lot stronger. This stuff will wear out and break, but I have a lot of it. So I probably have another 10 years supply of this wire. So it breaks, I just make it shorter. You know, I'm a big fan of using what I got. We're going to start sanding out. Hey, Jewel. Does anybody in here watch Ben Heck on YouTube? What do you do if the wood breaks and then you start over with another piece? Do I varnish these spindles? These do not get varnished. These get, the shafts get wax and the arms get a wax mineral oil finish. The reason I don't varnish them is they're tools and I want people to, be able to feel the wood. And if they drop their spindle and chip it a little bit, if it's varnished, and they fix it and sand it out. Trying to match that varnish is next to impossible. So by just using a mineral oil finish, if something bad happens, you can fix it and it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. Hey Kamal, how's it going? So yeah, these are not sanded yet. So I just cut them out on the scroll saw. It's got bunnies. Now, any scrap that is too small to use will go in our fireplace. So I do burn them. Right, and when you're spinning with this, a lot of people are going to be using wool, so you're going to always have a little bit of lanolin rubbing on it. So. Hey TB, how's it going? Sorry, I decided to try to. My lungs wanting coffee. All right. This is also Purple Heart. Do I have an online shop or a building? I actually have both. I've got 2 online stores. I have SnyderSpindles.com, and then I also, which is a Shopify store, and then I also have an Etsy store as well. We do have a commercial building. We do appointment only to come in, and we do some limited wholesaling, and then we also do festivals. So Yeah, so our building is basically, we got the racks up front with the stuff that's for sale online. If people want to come in and play with stuff, we can do that. It's more of a kind of a jewelry store thing where, okay, what do you want to look at? And we'll bring that out to you rather than having shelves full of stuff. Making this stuff takes a lot of time, so it's not like we can be open to the public and have like a full like yarn store. Sandor, how's it going? So we're located in Wisconsin. We just got back from a show a week ago, which was in North Carolina. So it was in Fletcher, which is by Asheville. I'm in North Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Hello, Chile. And then our next show is in, I believe, March, and it's also in North Carolina. It's in Raleigh. Next year, we're going to be doing our first show in California, so that should be fun. But normally, we're on the East Coast. Triviet my droog. Sorry. That's all I know, and it's even wrong. Do I do shows in South Africa? I do not. I'm basically just in the United States. Yep. So let's see. Handmade items take a long time, and I don't sell anything I make. It wouldn't be enough for the lace, which takes weeks, and make the same in crochet or knit. Yeah, yep. Well, if you go to Etsy, we can mail them to you. Yeah, I do ship pretty much worldwide. If I don't ship to a specific country, I can always turn it on. We've had issues with a lot of Asian countries just because we use Etsy for that, and Etsy's really dumb about international, where the label has to be in English, and then it doesn't end up getting lost in the mail, and too much confusion. Hello, welcome in. Have a good day. So I'll get done with these purple heart ones. Got one more after this. Right? Food is a good thing. For lunch, I heated up some leftovers. I made some crispy tofu stir fry yesterday. It was supposed to be crispy, but it really wasn't. How many orders do you get per day? It fluctuates quite a bit. So, give me 1 second here. So on Etsy, I've had 26,300 sales. But it's taken me 12 years to do that. But so, yeah. So that's the kind of stuff I make. You know, a lot of it depends on if you're having a sale or what. So as long as we keep listing stuff, we can have off days when we won't sell anything, and we'll have other days where we'll have a dozen orders a day. So, just kind of depends. Your mom also has a store on Etsy? Nice. Yeah, I've been with Etsy. My first store was in 2008, I believe. So, I've seen a lot change over the years. Not necessarily for the better. Going public was great for Etsy and great for the store, the stockholders. But it's more about the shareholders getting money rather than the sellers. It's a necessary evil. Now, in 2008, I was all gung-ho, but they've changed a lot. Yeah, I used to drink the Kool-Aid. I used to have a pattern site as well. So it would take your Etsy store, and then you'd have your own URL, and you could do a little bit of adjusting. But it came out of your inventory, so it was like Etsy without people knowing it's Etsy. Well, I was doing that, but then they shut my Etsy store down for no reason. It took me a while to get it turned back on, and they couldn't tell me what happened. So I pretty much stopped advertising on Etsy. Got rid of Pattern, went to Shopify. I still have Etsy, and nothing wrong, It's just you can't have your eggs all in one basket, especially if your basket can just disappear and they won't tell you why. And then they're like, well, you should just be happy it got turned back on. Huh. What am I making now? We're making shafts or Turkish spindles yet? So yeah, this is Purple Heart. It just turns brown when you start using it. Uh-oh. Vicky's gonna sign. There you go.
I'm gonna do something for the.
We give away little sheeps at the shows, so.
I actually took a picture of one of it. Took me a minute to figure out how to get it for myself. Because I used.
Where's the purple in the wood? So the purple is a chemical reaction with UV or heat. So if you would take this and set it on a windowsill, it would turn very purple, and over time it would turn black from UV exposure. It's kind of a weird wood. But so, not a lot of purple. Start toasting it. Here's the purple. Bizarre, huh? So for the most part, I don't use heat. I do have a UV tray for like doming epoxy. You can use it to dry your fingernail polish as well. Well, I use that. Hello. How's it going? Doing good? All right. Right now my tailstock is just kind of hanging off the back of the lathe, ready to fall. That's all right. All right. Another purple one. I have one more small Purple Heart shaft to make. I'm going to go set these on the table. Then we'll move on to some other woods. So I keep this piece of chicken wire in my exhaust here because every once in a while I'll drop my sandpaper in there and it'll go all the way to the extractor and then get stuck. And then I have to shut the extractor down and tear it apart and stick my arm in it. Hey, babe. You wanted a 4 1/4 inch Purple Heart or a 6 inch? 4 1/4? Alright. So we are going to be making a very short one like this for this size. As soon as I grab some coffee. Caffeine is your friend. Yeah, caffeine is definitely life. All right, I'm gonna switch over to the 3D printer here. And then we'll get back to work. All right. So this is a top whirl spindle. And then this is dichromatic filament. So it's 2 different colors in one. Just gonna make another one of those. We're making some dragons because everybody loves dragons. Another 7.5 hours to go on those. So I think this is gonna be my last year making dragons, but we'll see. How much did your 3D printer cost? Okay, so the A1 Mini is on sale right now, probably $250, $300 US dollars. The X1 carbons with the AMSs, these are phased out. They have a different model now. They just got a newer model. These were like, were they 1300 or 1500 with the AMSs? These things are workhorses. These 2 printers here are like the last of my old printers that I just used to print out little sheep when I get towards the end of spools. This one I think you can pick up for a couple $100 now. It's a little cantilever thing. This one here, when I bought it, it's an Ender 3 V2S1. I probably have about $450 stuck in it. I got an all metal hot end. I got the higher temperature nozzle on there, the heating element on there. So this in the real world now is on the used market. It's probably, I don't know, $50, $100 if you're lucky. So they definitely do have a work life. So it's like anything else, technology gets better. I started with Ultimaker 2s. Those were $2,000 each when I bought them. And I think I gave them away for like $40 for 2 of them. just to get rid of them. Don't get me wrong, the older printers, they print fine. They're just really slow. So the nice thing about Bamboo Lab is their replacement parts are very affordable. So you're not going to buy a third-party part to throw on there because the real ones are not that much. It is a closed system. A lot of people don't like that, but meh. When did I start my business? I started this business in 2013. Prior to that, I was just making hobby woodworking signs, toys, wooden toys, that kind of stuff. I started that in 2008. So, my business, it's just me and my girlfriend. I got a little bit more room where I can, grow before I have to start paying somebody else to come in here. But I don't really plan on that. This is just a small family business, and if I can get my bills paid, I'm doing all right, Slavo! Don't know if that's right or not, but hello. Welcome in. Alright. Your dad also has his own business? Nice. So that one is Purple Heart. It doesn't look like it, but it is. All right, let's turn something different. So this is Barra wood. We're going to make a little 4 1/4 inch shaft like the last one out of this stuff. Yeah, so I worked in factories for just about 20 years. And when I got laid off, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try doing something for myself. And it's been working. It's been 12 years. What type of wood am I? I guess I'm black walnut. I'm pretty, but I take all the resources around me and kill every other plant I can. There you go. We have a lot of black walnut trees around here, and they just kill the grass. You can't have a garden anywhere near one. What am I using? This is Argentinian ligamvente or Vera wood. So we'll bring it up on Wood Database. The database for wood. So it's Vera wood, Maracaibo ligamvente or Vera. Comes from Colombia and Venezuela. So the trees grow to be 40 to 50 feet tall, and they're typically between a foot and 2 feet in diameter. It's a heavy wood. It's let's see. It's reported to be very durable. It's mid to upper range in imported exotic woods, with increasing scarcity. There you go. It's not on the endangered lists. These are for tool handles, mallets, bearings, bushings, boat buildings, pulley wheels, heavy construction, turned objects, and drop spindles. Yep. So there you go. It's very pretty wood. So they call it Argentinian ligamvente. Ligamvente, the wood itself is endangered. They used it for bearings and bushings in big, tall sailing ships. It's kind of self-lubricating, can live below decks underwater, to hold the masts in place. So way back in the days of, big, tall sailing ships, they just decimated this tree. It's been endangered since at least the 70s. So you can't get the real stuff, but you can get this stuff. Take a gander at how it's looking. All right. Hello. How's it going, N? Alright. There's my pencil line. Saying it was pretty a pretty oily wood. It's very shiny right now. Then get that line burned in there. So this is weird. It's going to burn a line, but it's not going to be dark. It's going to be pretty light colored. I'm going to stream tomorrow. Tomorrow we got a package in the morning. So, maybe. Yeah, so that being said, my streaming schedule is kind of all over the place right now. Trying to get back on track. We had 3 shows in pretty much a month. So, all right, get some sleep. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you'd like to know when I'm going live, the best thing to do would be subscribe and then click the bell. That way you'll get a notification, because it's just all over the place right now. I think I got my money's worth out of the sandpaper. Let's see what we can get. It's pretty. If I do say so myself. Alrighty. So this is Bacote or Bacote. So this wood comes from Mexico. I'm not quite sure how far down it goes. It might go down into Central America. They do make fence posts out of it in Mexico. It's a nice wood that doesn't rot. And it is a very, very pretty wood. good idea. Get a 6-inch. Yeah, we can get a 6-inch out of this one. That'd be good. Yep. So I don't make a whole ton of exotic wood shafts. Usually, the exotic wood. So this would be the leftover from a wider piece that I made the arms out. So it'd be a wider piece of wood, and then that'd be my leftovers. So every couple months we'll make a bunch with exotic shafts, and trying to find these pencil lines might be a pain in the tuchus, but we'll find out. I'm just gonna take a gander here. When I'm done, I'll show it to you guys. I love Bacote. It's just such a pretty wood. That pretty? I think it's pretty. I'm gonna pair that up with Purple Heart for now. That's fantastic. need some more whip handles. Okay, so this piece is very tapered. See what we can get out of it. We're gonna do. Actually, let's do 6-inch. Get a couple 6-inch shafts out of this one. Yeah, this coat is pretty. Not the easiest wood to work with. We'll use a skew. Little bit of chatter. Which isn't the end of the world, but add a little wax. once that's sanded and dark purple, that thing is just going to be striking. Yeah, this is going to be too short to use the tool rest I currently have on here. I really don't want to switch it out for... Yeah, we'll switch it out. We've got a couple to make, so... I do have 2 banjos for this this lathe. So the banjo is what the tool rest sits on. It's this piece here. They call it a banjo. It kind of looks like an inverted banjo neck or a guitar neck, where it's got a heel on it. I don't think Earl Scruggs was questioned whether that'd be okay or not. I could have went with Steve Martin. I could have went with Bela Fleck. I could have even went with Roy Clark. Back that up just a little bit more. When I'm working with a short piece that I don't have a lot of wiggle room with, I'll err to the side of caution, you know? So I did notice my local mill, it just doesn't carry Osage orange anymore. That and Coco Bolo I have not seen in years. So a few years ago, they got some Kingwood in. Oh my god. So the Kingwood is a rosewood, and it is just gorgeous. Plenty of Osage orange in Kentucky. Yeah, once you get down south, you know, you got horse apple everywhere. So, you know, on my way to North Carolina, I got stuck in a frickin' trap in Kentucky. So, I just love how the state of Kentucky does their fines. So, my speeding, they brought it down to under 10. So it's only a $20 ticket, but there's $145 worth of court costs. So even if you win, you're still stuck paying $145. And then I get a letter in the mail saying, oh, I can take a class so I don't get any points. Yeah, I'm going to drive from Wisconsin to Kentucky to contest a $20 ticket. I mean, there's plenty of other people doing the same thing passing me, but they did not have out-of-state plates. So, I don't know, man. Not a big fan of Kentucky right now. It could have been worse. I was going to a show. I had a whole van full of bins and product, and they could have made my life a living hell, and they did not. But I still feel I got the out-of-state tax. And, you know, I really, really, really like Osage Orange. It's fun wood. What do I rub on my wood? Wood chips. And then this is wax. This is paste wax. It used to be paste wax. Now it's a bunch of wood chips. So, yeah, paste wax just puts protected on. Once people start using it, most people are going to be spinning wool on it. So there's going to be lanolin that rubs on it, plus the oils on your fingers. So, yeah. The shafts, the more you use them, the better they are. Got another little piece of book coat here. Actually, I'm going to vacuum this out and we're going to grab some. I'm in Wisconsin. Yep. Great. All right, I'm live again. Yeah, I'm in North Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Although one of my other woodworking friends is really trying to get me to move to Ohio. What part, Minnesota here? Yeah, Fond du Lac. So I am about an hour and 20 minutes south of Green Bay, about an hour north of Milwaukee and Madison. I'm so from Fond du Lac, you go north. There's Oshkosh, Nina Menasha than Appleton. Nice. Yeah, we do one festival. We do Shepherd's Harvest, which is kind of by the Twin Cities. I'm not even sure. It's Lake Elmo. Suburb of St. Paul. There you go. Yeah, it's very rural. Yeah, so Wisconsin is pretty much surrounded by legalized marijuana everywhere. So I guess Jesse the Brain, was just ahead of his time. It only took, 20 years after he was elected? What's that? How much? $5? All right. That'll work. That'll work. Yeah, that's true. It's 10 times better. You're gonna be a dick about it. So yeah, this is my day job. This is what I do for a living. Normally, I'm doing more crafty type things that you'd see at a craft sale. But it sucks because the videos I'm making, I'm doing a lot of scroll saw videos, and I'm trying to build skills. I could poop out a project video every week, but if they're using the same skills, I don't know what kind of value you have rather than, I want to make that. And if it's something that I designed, that's great, but if I'm just using somebody else's pattern, I don't know. There's other people out there that do that like all the time. It's just like, here, look at this thing. It's the same steps, just, one day's a mermaid, the next day's a whale. There we go. One's the coat. All right. I am going to run to the restroom real quick. I will be right back. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. What are the sticks for? The sticks are for... We're making Turkish spindles. They're used for spinning yarn. The sticks are made for this with the arms, and then you use it to make yarn. All right. Not a problem. Is this gonna be big enough? Ooh, that's gonna be tight. Not in the... Alright. So that side we had a knot that split out, and that side somebody cut in. So I'm just gonna go and just cut that part off to give me a flat area to put my settler. So we got a little bit of room, about 3/8 of an inch on either side. Should be good. So the grain is kind of going in this direction. It's kind of crossing over here, but this is going to be the thicker part. So the thinner part, the grain looks much more in line with the side here, so it should be good. But it might explode in our faces too, so stick around for that. You know, if I was making like a pen, it'd be basically the same procedure. I would drill a hole first and then glue in a brass tube, and then I'd put in a holder to hold the brass tubes and then turn the wood like that. Hey 52, how's it going? Welcome in. So this is Vera wood. No. This is Bacote. Adjust that a little bit. All right. So we adjust the taper. We want this to lock in place. That way when you put the arms together, it doesn't free spin on you. Hey, if you guys could do me a huge favor and just double click on the screen, that'd be much appreciated. See if we can get some more people in here. Or instead of that, you guys could just leave, I guess? I don't know. Sorry for asking. All right. It's pretty. Got enough wood chips in my coffee or not? Wow. All right. All right, this is a rosewood of some sort. So we'll see how that goes. Hello, welcome in. You want me to make a lentil dish? Does look good. I think we're gonna switch out our tool rest and go back to some 8-inch shafts. So this is Red Heart, even though it looks very orange. It looks very, very much like Padauk, but the grain is very, very tight. So. Create a picture or a pot from a strip. Stip. From a metal sheet. Now, this is a wood lathe. I don't have any tooling for that. You know, you have the pegs that you put in. You put pins in so you can really rank down on that. Hey, Kenneth. How's it going? I almost asked you what the frequency was, but I decided against that. The cost of this lathe, it's about $1,000, maybe a little more today. So I have an Etsy store, I have a website, I do festivals, I go to shows, and I do some limited wholesaling. So yeah, this is my Etsy shop. And I also have SnyderSpindles.com. And we do have a small retail space here at the shop too, but it's more of a, I'm interested in this. We'll bring bins down and go through product. So it's not like you shop around, you make an appointment and come in. But then we'll sit there and we'll go through product with them and try to find the right tool for them. Yeah, so I've been doing this full time. This is my 12th year, something like that. Yeah, that red heart is gorgeous. And I just split the top. Yes, I did. Drats. Foiled again. Isn't that pretty though? Alright, we're gonna just go back to, I'm just gonna vacuum this up real quick and we're gonna go back to maple. Tried and true maple, man. Alright, so this is hard maple doweling that I order from the manufacturer, and they make it per order. So I tell them the thickness I want, the length I want, and then they go make it. Sometimes it takes a few weeks, but that's alright. Yeah, so they come in a bunch of different sizes. The smallest one is 4 1/4. The largest one is 10. This is an 8. The 10-inch is a plying spindle. It's a thicker diameter. So for this type of wood, 4 1/4, 6, 7, 8. So if something bad would happen on this end, I could make something shorter. All right, we're going to burn some decorative lines. So if you ever see turned items, they have a whole bunch of lines on. It's just really quick to make those lines. Hey, welcome in. I hope everybody's having a lovely Sunday. Manuel, how's it going? NJ, welcome in. So we're just kind of hanging out, making some stuff on the lathe. we got some 6-inch shafts we gotta make. Hey Mark, how's it going? So the main purpose of this extractor here is to suck up the fine sawdust. This stuff here. I mean, if it could catch some wood chips, that's great too. But I'm not going to breathe that in. That little stuff you don't want to breathe in. Make your lungs into particle board. You know, in a bad way. Right, now we're going to burnish. Add a little wax. We are a quiet bunch today. And that's all right. We can have more of an ASMR stream. It's just too bad I don't have a Gilbert Gottfried impersonation. Just pretend you're the parrot from Aladdin and we'll be fine. Alright, so this was big enough to do a 6-inch shaft and a 4 1/4-inch shaft, right? So I'm making the 6-inch shaft now, and I'm setting these in a bin, and I can go back and use the other half of it later. Now, there's a bunch of different ways you could go about making these. I like to do it this way because it gives me the ability to watch the shaft turning, so I know if it's good or bad or not. If I could do this I could do this whole thing without ever shutting off the lathe, but when I get to the end, it might be garbage. So this is a way of making sure it's not. You know, wood's a natural material. There is a lot of stresses in wood. You don't know what happened to the tree. All trees have bugs. Depending on how far the bug got in, you might not see it, and there might be a void in the wood, and you're just going along your merry way, doing the same thing you've done for years, and all of a sudden becomes many pieces all at once. Well, the majority of what I use, almost all of it, is all kiln dried. So, if there are critters in there, they're dead. And that would be more of a sapwood thing anyway, but you never know. Yes, I'm rubbing wood chips on it. I'm burnishing the surface. So think of this as like a friction polish. Just makes them smooth. Yeah, it's nice. It just makes it, you know, where I don't have to keep going up in grids. Plus, it's something I'm generating as I go. So I just made a Turkish spindle that is used for spinning yarn. So we'll do a little demo here. So this is wool. So this is roving. It's been processed. They gave a sheep a haircut. They washed it. They combed it so all the hairs are facing the same direction. So this spindle has not been sanded or balanced, but for this example, it's fine. Just gonna put a little tuft under there. Gonna spin a leader just to get me to the top of the spindle. Now on the top we made the spindle here, so that gives a little spot for the yarn to catch. So I'm gonna put in a half hitch, and that's enough to hold it. So now we've got the leader on there, it's tied up. So I'm gonna spin the spindle, and then with my hands I'm drafting. So I'm defining the thickness of the yarn and how much twist is going into it. So this is what came before spinning wheels. So with a spindle, you spin a length and you wrap it on the spindle for storage, and then you spin another length. Where on a spinning wheel, you're going to have a bobbin that's spinning, and it's automatically going to wrap onto that bobbin. So I'm going to go over two arms under one and keep repeating that. So I am making a center pull ball. So when I'm done, we could take the spindle apart, remove our ball, and then we're all ready to go on to the next step. Come up, put a half hitch in, and we're ready to spin again. So this is a single. Obviously it's one piece. So most of the time when you're working with yarn, you're working with cabled yarn. So you're talking about having multiple singles that are twisted together. Now what we can do is I can make this into a 3-ply by basically making a crochet loop, basically a slip knot. So I'm gonna just come up here, tuck in between. Now we got a crochet loop. Now if I bring it down, so now we have 1, 2, 3 pieces. So if you apply those together, it did break on me because I'm in a hurry. But then you have a cabled yarn. So the next step would be to wash that, and then it's yarn, and then you can do whatever yarny goodness you'd like, whether it be weave. Well, usually with cabled you don't weave with it, but if you wanted to knit or crochet, macrame, whatever you want to do. That is a drop spindle in a nutshell. Now they come in a whole bunch of different sizes and shapes, and basically the larger spindle, the thicker the yarn. Cat's cradle, there you go. Been there. I'll walk through what I'm doing on the next one. I guess I haven't done that in a while. Well, if you're thinking it's a drop spindle for spinning yarn, yes. If you think it's for ringing something else, then no. I need to refresh my browser. Alright. And we are live again. This is for external use only. Now we're going to burnish. And we'll put these arms on here. So it's funny at shows. You'll get kids running up and start fencing with these, which I can understand. Their parents are horrified, especially after seeing the prices. All right, guys, let's try not to break that. I think for my next show, I am going to make a couple dozen little train whistles, which I will probably give to unattended children, unaccompanied children. Nothing's better than a whistle. Alright, so I brought it down to the correct diameter. I'm using this wrench as a caliper. Once it slides over, I know I'm on size. I'm using my roughing gouge. I just used my story stick to line up. Now I know where I want my taper to end. So we're bringing the diameter down. We're getting close. I'm going to switch from my roughing gouge to my spindle gouge. So roughing gouge takes off a lot of material, doesn't leave a great finish. This takes less material off, but leaves a little bit of a better finish. Using another wrench as a caliper. I wouldn't use a big wrench. You don't want something flying across the shop, sticking out of the wall. Just do a quick little sand here. The sanding is basically just to sand down this taper here. Now I'm going to shut the lathe off while backing off my tailstock so I can watch what's going on here. Well, hello! How's Abraham doing? Or Ibrahim, I don't know. That's spinning good. So I'm just transferring these lines over from the story stick. So I actually have lines cut in here. By doing that, they're all going to be the same size. So. All right. These 3 lines at the bottom are going to be beads. I'm going to be using this beading tool. It's just a V-shaped scraper. Come in here, just lay that in. Now I could use a skew and just set it in from both sides. This is just quicker. Then we're going to grab our skew here, come up to the top. Skew. I'm just laying in the finial and defining the thickness underneath. Taking my spindle gouge, and we're just going to blend those lines together. So the shaft itself is a series of tapers. All right. There's not really a straight line on here. We're going to burn in some decorative lines with this wire. Turn the lathe down and then just stand it out. Turn the speed back up, grab some wood chips. Then we're going to hold them on the wood while it's spinning. Gives a really nice finish. It's called burnishing. Adding some wax. So we finished up everything we could do while between centers, which just means it's clamped in on that side. This side has a live center, so there's a pin sticking in the wood and there's a bearing, so it's just spinning on the bearing. Come up to the top. Since I'm clamped in down here, I can cut the pinion off. back that up. And there you go. Hello! Welcome in. I'm going to say 1F, because, yeah. Hey Jay, how's it going? Alright, now we're going to cut off the bottom. I'm going to cut it off at a point. And then this is done at the lathe. The bottom here will get sanded out in the next step, and then we'll add a little wax. Looks good, spins nice. Got one more 6-inch shaft. And then I think we might head over to the scroll saw for a little bit. Or I can see how many I have over there that need 6-inch shafts. We can just make a few more. Since we only have 4 over there, we'll just make the shafts first. So these are, they're called Apex. They're laser engraved on both sides. That one's Purple Heart, Walnut, and Cherry. So these I actually laser engraved the whole pattern so you can see where I'm going to cut it out. So my larger spindles live up here. So when I cut a larger spindle, I end up with this little crescent piece here, which I make a bunch of smaller spindles out of. So my big goal is to use up as much of the material as I can. I mean, it's November, winter's here, ish. I mean, it was 25 degrees overnight. So I do burn wood in the fireplace, so the little scrap gets burned. Which also gives me a second chance to go through the wood that I am going to burn. And, you know, you'll find some stuff that you can use. I mean, like a piece of Purple Art this big, you know, will burn for 30 seconds, whatever, a couple minutes. But, you know, this size here, you know, that's $20-some. So kind of makes sense to sell that rather than burn it. Alright, now we're going to burnish. Feels good. run you guys over by the 3D printer. We're going to get that going again. And I'm going to get more coffee because it'd be a shame to. Set you up over here. Find something to print. Roll is almost gone. And we'll start this one, see how it goes. Okay, get my coffee. I'll be right back. Okay. I just updated the software on this and it doesn't seem to be finishing its job, which is unfortunate, so. I'm not in a rush. It's not the end of the world. It's just kind of frustrating, you know. All right, now it's preparing, so I'll be right back. All right. That was not very fascinating, was it? So, right now it's heating up the bed. And then it'll go through and do all its stuff. Which is pretty exciting. All right, let's get back. The coffee cup, I accidentally printed it backwards. Wasn't paying attention, but it comes in handy for this. So we got 4 6-inch shafts left. If we can get those done today, we're doing great. So how's it going, guys? Doing good? I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. You know, and a big thing about doing production work, when you're doing the same thing multiple times, it's kind of like NASCAR, where you win the race in the pits, not on the track. So I'm a big fan of putting magnets on my stuff. So the wrenches I use, I have magnets sitting on my lathe. This has a magnet on it. Everything, my pencil has a magnet on it. Everything, my burning wire has a magnet on it. So everything stays in the same place. So I'm not looking like for a pencil that rolled off or whatever. There's nothing frustrating. That just slows you right down. So does drinking coffee, but I need that. Good stuff. Alright, I'm gonna add some wax. Gonna go with that one. Hello. Is it Engraph? Engulf? Welcome in. So today we're making shafts for drop spindles that are used for spinning yarn. Yeah. We got 3 more to make, and then we're gonna hop on the scroll saw and cut a couple out. So I was gonna take today off, but man, I felt like I need to get stuff done. Yeah, so I was at a fiber show last week, and I had a lady come up to me. She's like, "Hey, you're the guy that makes these online all the time." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." And there we go. 2 more left. I was just thinking I could make very expensive golf tees. Hey Jones, how's it going? I realized that I basically drank a whole pot of coffee by myself today. Which is odd. I usually drink like maybe 2 cups a day. Alright, we're going to be going over to the scroll saw after this one. It's been 3 hours. I think I'm ready to sit down for a little bit. So we'll get these cut out and probably call it a stream. So we're done with the extractor, so we can shut that off. So let me plug in the power here and move a monitor so I can see the chat, because we've been really chatty. There we go. All right, so we got a number 7 blade on here. This is an Olsen Mach Speed blade. And let's cut it out. Swap that out for a new blade, not a big deal. So the saw is a Pegasus. And on the side of the saw, there's slots that hold these vials. So you can have a dozen of your favorite blades at arm's reach. And then after that, then you have to start improvising. So these are all different blades. Got a whole bunch of different spirals on here, a bunch of different blades as well. It's like anything else. You don't start out trying to have, you know, a collection of umpteen million blades, but this kind of happens over time. I've been using a scroll saw since I started in 1987 when I was 12, which makes me just barely old enough to drink. I'm excited. I'm to the age now where I don't get carded anymore. It's amazing. sure what's up with that blade. It's not cutting for poop. Alright, we'll try nickel blade instead. So Nikwa is sold in the US under the name Flying Dutchman as well. There, that's better. That is poop. So I'm gonna quickly sand this. I don't have to. So my girlfriend does the finishing sanding. If I gave her something that looked like that, I'd never hear the end of it. What is that? So these have a mortise that's cut out, and then this arm will slide through that arm. So I'm just making sure. The hole will be big enough. So the cool thing about scroll saws are you can make internal cuts. So I'm just going to take the blade, push it through. Now we can cut the inside out. It's a little bit tight yet, which is okay. Now we're good. I'm gonna grab this file here. This is a rat-tailed bastard file. So I'm just making sure that these holes are centered, which they are. So we already made the shaft for this one. So there we go. This one is ready for sanding. And it's November, perfect time to start making bats. Honestly, the bat people, the people are going to buy these, they really don't care. Okay. Hey, Casper, how's it going? Welcome in. So this is 5/8 inch thick black walnut. So these are the apex. Most of my smaller spindles are 1/2 inch thick. These are 5/8. So I mistakenly showed the girlfriend how to make these on the laser engraver. So now I'm getting a whole bunch of these sets on my table. Yeah, if she wants to do, you know, a half dozen of these a day, I'm okay with it. Yeah, so if you're new to the stream, my name's Scott. This channel is Making It with Scott. I tend to do instructional videos, beginner to intermediate, woodworking projects, mainly scroll saw lathe work. This is my day job. I'm a spindle maker because candlesticks are just too difficult. So, gonna be a baker or candlestick maker or whatever. That one's very, very close. It's just a hair too tight. It's easier to put wood back on. No, it's easier to take wood off than it is to put wood back on. So if you start out a little tight, not a big deal. There we go. Yeah, once these are sanded and get a finish on them, they're just gonna pop. Yeah, some little sheeps. And we got a bat one, also out of walnut. What's going on here? We are making drop spindles that are used for spinning yarn. So we're cutting wood on a scroll saw. Thanks, guys. See if we can get some more people in here. All right, so I'm going to switch the blades out. So the next one is Purple Heart. So we're going to, we'll try this one. We're going to use a precision ground blade. Purple Heart burns really easy. and it's very hard to sand the burn out of it. So we're going to use some very aggressive blades. We're going to take our time. So, hey Lee, how's it going? Yeah, so with Purple Heart, I'm going to use the precision ground blades or use super sharps are another good option. So these are PS Wood super sharps. These are number 5. Normally you do 7s, but they're very good about removing the sawdust, so it keeps the friction out of it. Nice and smooth. So yeah, Purple Heart, we have to keep it moving. We can't stop. If we stop, we're going to burn. So if we have to reposition our hands, we're going to back the blade up like that, just to keep it from burning a line. So that's pretty good. Little line there. That could be teak burns as well. You know, I don't think I've ever worked with teak. You know, it's just so expensive from where I'm at. Unless I'm building a boat, you know. And when you work with Purple Heart, it turns brown. You know, that's just a UV reaction. So it'll turn purple again. If you set it out in the sun, or if you apply heat to it, it also turns purple. Now, this piece of Purple Heart here is very dense. Like anything else, there's a wide spectrum. A lot of times, it's not my favorite wood to work with, but it's a very popular wood. It's one of the exotic woods that everybody knows. So, if I go to the mill, if it's not this dense, I won't buy it. There we go. And we just turned these shafts right before we got over here. They look good. So the next step is sanding and balancing. Then when that's done, this gets a mineral oil based finish. So I don't put a big glossy finish on these because if something bad happens and you get a little chip, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. By using a mineral oil and wax finish, if something bad happens, you can repair it, and then nobody will ever know. All right, so we got that precision ground blade on here, which is fine. We do have some minis to cut out. So these are walnut. With this blade, it's going to go quick. Yeah, I think there's like 7 of these, so it's not a whole ton. So I'm just cutting the whole outside edge. I still have those 2 lines to cut out in the middle. It just kind of keeps everything together. Hello! How's Lauren doing today? Hope you're doing well. Alrighty. So we're cutting all the outside edges, and then we'll come back and cut out the mortises. Alright, we're getting there. We got 2 more. Then we'll start cutting the inside. Aluminum? Can you cut aluminum with the saw? Yes. As long as it's thin enough. They do make jeweler blades for these. You can cut silver on them if you wanted to. Yeah, this is just a powered fret saw, jeweler saw. This is walnut, so this is wood. People do coin cutting with this as well. But it's much happier just cutting wood, to be honest. We're going to cut out. Yes, walnut is a hardwood. Hello, 3601. How's it going? It's a hardwood, but it's not a very dense wood. You know, balsa is a hardwood as well. Softwoods are conifers. So, evergreen trees, yeah, pine trees. Silver, copper, brass. You know, I've cut quarter 20 bolts on this stuff. It all depends on what blade you have. Yeah, I'm a woodworker. So there we go. So yeah, we were making shafts earlier in the stream. As I launched the arm across the table. All right, have a good one. So yeah, so I use blue painter's tape. I'll put that down on the wood first, or rather my girlfriend will. And then we use spray adhesive to put the pattern on. So when we're done, we can just peel the pattern off. You don't have any residual glue to deal with. You okay? All right. Do they have diamond blades? I'm not sure. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities, though. Maybe in a spiral? I'm not sure. They do make quite a bit of specialty blades. Which is one of the hardest parts about trying to, you know, do videos about this type of saw. There's just so many different variables that, you know. And a lot of it is personal preference. That's too bad. You have to give yourself a little wiggle room, because when you're done, you take it and you pull it apart. Plus, you also have to. Right now, my shop is dry because winter's coming in. You know, so. Oh, got it. Oh, I must be out of filament. Yes, we are. So I will just make a dual color one. So I'm just loading in some green filament. Really? Hey Juan, how's it going? We're just gonna let this heat up, and then we'll get it running again.
Aha.
What really good?
I see that. So what are we looking at? We're staring at the gear. See that? Nice. It's working on it.
Did the filament come off the bottom?
No. Yeah, sometimes I'm useless.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So it did come out the bottom, so we're gonna hit continue.
Like I said, sometimes I'm useless.
That's all right. How do you do that? You printed on tape.
On paper, actually.
On paper and then transferred it?
Yeah.
What material is that printing? It's PLA. It's a silk PLA. It's a dichromatic. So it's two different colors. So it's got black and then like that rosy color. But I'm out of that filament, so now it's going to change into green and black. Load complete. Okay, so start printing. All right. So it's just sitting there. It's purging right now. So that'll start back up right now. And since it's green, it should probably stick out. And the X1 carbons, we are making dragons. So we got another 5 hours on that. So, here's my pile of O-Dragon. So that's like the dichromatic filament. Since we're printing, we can go back to the scroll saw, finish that stuff up. So that material is plastic. It's polylactic acid. So it is made from like cornstarch. So the strength on that stuff is basically on the way it's designed with the perimeters. No, that's plastic. So PLA does not do well in like your car when it's like 115 degrees out and your car's, basically an easy bake oven. But as long as you keep it where you're comfortable, if you're comfortable, it's comfortable. So what that gear shaped thing is a top whirl spindle. I also make 3D printed Turkish spindles like this. And the reason for that is it's just something I can offer that's less expensive. So, if you're just starting out, you don't got a lot of money to spend, it's an option. And honestly, a lot of people who are younger kind of dig the whole aesthetic, so you can save some money. If you want to buy an exotic wood spindle, that's great if you got the budget for it. But if not, like the 3D printed ones, I do make them for classes, for instructors. They're a little nicer than like a wooden toy wheel you get at a craft store on a double. Well, those look good. That looks good. That looks really good. That looks really good.
It's a little bit more work, but
That's a lot more work.
I figured they'll stay nicer longer.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I caught a piece of hair on the tape.
That's all right.
But yeah, so I figured.
I mean, as long as you get the prices right,
Let's see. I believe we can.
Oh, sure.
Right in. Granted, it's not gonna cover up all that great, but.
Yeah, I can put a sticker over the
Or
top,
you can put a
whatever.
sticker on it. Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. So it's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It is, but then they're permanent,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just wipe off the stuff. That's good.
And then.
I was supposed to do more Apex today,
Yeah, I dropped the ball on that.
but I'm just gonna work on price tags.
That's fine.
Now, do you want me to cover the whole thing and do the back? Because I really just
It doesn't matter. The
I
front's
just,
fine.
yeah.
I mean,
basically folded over the tape and that's it.
that's fine.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's going to start pulling our price tags apart and looking on the back.
No, I don't think so.
This stuff's made in New York City.
Nice.
Aren't they pretty?
Wow. Yeah, they are.
Hello, how's it going?
Yeah.
Welcome in. Que pasa? Please don't reply to that. Yo soy stupido gringo. Only on glass. um, what's that Santana song? Where it's like basically, what's up?
Oi, oi, como va?
Oi, como va? Here we go. So. Great, now I got that song stuck in me. That could be worse. It could be Rob Thomas. And Santana. All right, guys, we got one more left after this. And then I think I'm going to call it a stream. It's been 3 hours of fun, excitement. But, you know, we can live stream again sometime, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. Had to break in as it disconnects itself. Thank you. All right, we'll get this one done, and then we'll call it a stream, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be a little productive, even if it is on a Sunday. So, after this, I get to start backing up all my files. Hey Em, how's it going? I've got 4 different computers, and there's files that are spread throughout the computers, and I don't really have a centralized location, so I'm gonna go through and put everything in one place. Set up a server so I have it. Do have a exotic shaft for that one. Sweet. And there we go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. If you like the stream, please give me a follow. Ring the bell. I do not have a streaming schedule as of right now. Once everything gets rolling, once I get everything kind of situated in here, and spinning wheels, we'll nail something down. So thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you next time. And as always, spin fast.
Die warm.
So you can die warm. It's my line.